Happy Monstering!
And welcome to another episode of My Singing Monsters Live, your one-stop shop for everything to do with My Singing Monsters. We are your hosts, Monster Handler Matt.
And Monster Handler Eric, and we are broadcasting directly from our respective houses.
Yes, we are. This is our second time co-hosting in a row, Eric. That may be the setup moving forward as we sort of make do with our work-from-home edition from My Singing Monsters Live. But don't worry, the quality of the content will remain top-notch all the way through. Let's start off by talking about an exciting thing, maybe the reason that you're here today, although we hope that you're also here to tune in to see our beautiful faces, but that's the giveaway. The giveaway. How does the giveaway work? Eric, do you know how the giveaway works?
I believe I do, Matt. All you have to do is type !giveaway into the chat here on YouTube, and you will be entered automatically. At the end of the show, we will draw a name. If that is your name, please type your BBB ID /friend code into the chat so we can get you your prize.
It's that easy. !giveaway. What a wonderful thing. And what are we winning today? It's a secret. It's a secret. We're going to worry about it later. Okay, so let's launch right in and talk about some of the exciting things that have been happening this week. No, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back. Let's take a look at what's happening on this day in past years in Monster World history. So, little known fact, or perhaps it's a very well-known fact, April 3rd was the beginning of the Eggstravaganza seasonal event in 2019. Because Easter moves around every year. We don't know why necessarily Eggstravaganza also moves around. I think it has something to do with the tides and just maybe the ocean currents in the living ocean. Hard to know for sure. Only Blabbit really knows the secret. But last year, the Eggstravaganza themed decorations debuted for the very first time. That's the rotten egg, the floofy basket, the multiverse and of course the ginormous carrot. So they're 1 year old. So happy birthday to all of those decorations. Let's fast forward to what happened this week in the monster world. Of course, a very exciting development. The second Wordle of Water Island, Parsona, was reunited with its sisterly Wordle friend, Magpie on Water Island. Exactly, right where it belongs on the two. I really love these two together. It's so nice to sort of shake things up, and we've had sort of a male and female voice so far, but this the two female voices, I think it's so nice how they sing together. It's it's an expression of solidarity. It's all about it's all about variety, right? Like not every Wordle song is going to sound the same on each island because not all songs sound the same. Also, because it was April on the 1st, the Blossom, the Celestial of Plant, kicked off our April sale of Lucky Star. That's 20% off on Celestial Islands. So if Blossom is your favorite Celestial, you're in luck this entire month of April. Fast forwarding to today, a very exciting development. The brand new Rare Repetillo on Firehaven, available to buy breed for the very first time. This is a very interesting rare because if you read the bio, some of the research collected by Monster Handler Sydney indicates that this monster has sort of an agricultural leaning. It sort of uses its spiky bits in order to aerate different soil. And I guess there's no better place than Firehaven for that to happen because, of course, Firehaven celebrates Feast-Timber. It's all about the harvest and stuff like that. Other exciting things happening this weekend. We've got an awesome Rare Ethereal promotion, the Rad Hair Day promotion. Stylish Rare Ethereals, Rare Geode, Rare Wisp, and Rare Fung Prey are available to buy or breed on their respective islands. Rare Geode getting in on the Water Island excitement. There's all sorts of exciting things going on Water Island with the Extravaganza and all these new monsters appearing like Parsona and Magpie. Very exciting stuff. In addition to that, a much requested promotion, and it's happening this weekend. It's our Electric Field promotion. You get 50% off Wubbox on all islands that it appears. That's the Natural Islands, that's Ethereal Island, and that's Wublin Island. Excellent time to grab a Wubbox. Also an excellent time to take advantage of monster-sized discounts on featured currency packs, whether it's treats, coins, diamonds that you're after. There's a pack with your name on it, so make sure to check out the currency market this weekend because there's all sorts of featured packs on sale. Moving over to Dawn of Fire. Also, of course, April also. And so the Blossom is available on Starhenge in the growing green star charts. So that's only a couple of days old. So hopefully you're already several moves along the star chart path. But if not, there's no better time than now to get started. And also this weekend, you can enjoy 50% off the young and adult Thrumble, a beloved fire hybrid, and 40% more in diamond packs as well, perhaps to help you along with your acquisition of your new Thrumbles. Gotta love those Thrumbles. Okay,
wow, that's all. Well done, man.
That's all my stuff. There's so much going on. Whenever there's a seasonal event, you know this, Eric, that there's so much going on at any given time. But you know what? That's why you tune into My Sing Monsters Live, so you can stay on top of all of these exciting developments. Okay, that's everything from me that I wanted to talk about. But I'm sure that the community wants us to talk about all sorts of other things in the awesome and helpful questions that they've sent in for you to ask and for me to answer. So this is a segment that we like to call Quick Questions. Quick questions, although sometimes I'm long-winded in my response. But you know what? The more detail, the better, because that's knowledge. Knowledge is power.
That's what the people want.
That's what the people demand, and I'm ready to
hopefully you have a lot of knowledge for this person.
I hope
Starburst Clown, they ask, does Rare Repetillo roll around more than other Repetillos?
I wouldn't say that it rolls around more than other Repetillos, but obviously other Repetillos, when they tuck their pointy, their spiky extremities into their body, it forms more of like a pill bug or potato bug format. And with the rare Repetillo, it has the option to sort of stick out its pokey bits and perforate the soil, aerate it in order to improve agricultural yield. So I would say that all Repetillos roll around with the same frequency, but rare Repetillos have the special advantage to be able to deploy their spiky extremities in order to aerate the soil.
So there you go. That's how they roll. Cassie Kuma asks, how can Rare Repetillo keep Hydrus on the Fire Haven?
How can it keep Hydrus? I wonder if that's like hydrated, if that's a synonym for hydrated. Because the water element not present at all on Firehaven, it is an excellent question, Cassie Kuma, but that's part of the resourcefulness of monsters. In an environment that normally you would think has very little moisture, some monsters have developed very innovative ways to preserve moisture. You know, like in the desert where you set a sheet of like plastic wrap and then the condensation sort of drips and that's how you can collect water. Well, there's no sun to speak of to serve that evaporation, but there's certainly an intense heat. And so I think something to do with the specific chemistry of Firehaven allows them to collect water in a similar but somewhat unrelated way, and that's how Rare Repetillo and other monsters are able to quench their thirst on Firehaven.
Clever. Quazook asks, what in the world was Stog doing on Water Island? That's not its home.
Eric, do you know what Quazook is referring to here? I don't think I do.
I've never seen Stog.
I don't know if you have that exactly right, Quazook. I would just double check your sources. I don't know, because you're right. Stog doesn't belong on Water Island. That's foolish. It's silly, is what it is.
Okay, on to a serious question. Single 94362626 asks, how long did it take to record Water Island Wordos, monsters who do belong on Water Island?
How long did it take? A lot of the Wordo composition was done. At least some of the earlier islands, like Plant and Cold, were all done at around the same time, and I think Air and Water as well. The interesting thing about the Wordos is that the in-game collection of relics in order to provide lyrical inspiration, it can be likened a lot to the experience of us monster handlers trying to come up with good lyrics for these Wordos to sing. Certainly the Water Island lyrics went, and the Air Island lyrics as well, went through a couple of different versions, couple of different iterations before we settled on ones that we liked. And in every case, we try and make sure that the lyrics relate in some way to the element that the island is named for. So plants are, it's all about growth, and it's all about explaining sort of the growth cycle of plants. Cold, both Talker and Magpie are trying to personify, trying to embody what cold might mean to them. So the idea of being distant, the idea of being isolated in a sense, and then an Air Island, try to keep it very, very light, if you will, and talk about being sort of carefree. And then with water, a similar sort of approach. We wanted to sort of encapsulate something about the nature of water, the fact that it's versatile, the fact that it goes with the flow, and stuff like that. So certainly the message that the Water Island Wordos impart, it couldn't have happened at a better time. It's a very timely release for these lyrics, I think, about the going with the flow and making it somehow, because it's an interesting time. But the nice thing is that as long as we have each other and we can play a part together, like we had earlier this week, then we'll make it somehow. We'll go with the flow like water, cool, calm, and clear.
Very nice. Edwina100 asks, can rare T-Rox move its little arms independently, the ones on its chest?
It can, but it cannot clap them very well. So there is a little bit of mobility there. You don't see it as much in the animations in-game, although you do see a little bit. They sort of respond to the hopping that rare T-Rox does, but mostly they're for show. They're not unlike the arms of certain theropod dinosaurs like Carnotaurus or Majungasaurus, where basically their arms are almost vestigial. They're almost ready to fall off. The evolution is almost ready to get rid of them and take care of them. They're even smaller than, I'd say, a T-Rex's arms comparatively. So I think that there's something going on. So there's an interesting idea there, though, because rare T-Rox usually is an evolutionary offshoot of the common T-Rox. You wonder, in this case, is common T-Rox actually the more evolved one because it's lost those little arms altogether? Who knows, man? All sorts of interesting notions and ideas to ponder there, but it could be that the opposite is true, that rare T-Rox grew these arms for some future purpose down the line. It has sort of long-distance forecasting from an evolution standpoint. Who's to say?
More research required.
Much more research required.
This next question comes from Quentin Apillo. Do monsters know music theory? Because in Cave Island, they literally know how to do polyrhythm. It's interesting,
Quintina Pillow. Quintina Pillow. Do they know it? I perhaps think that they know it innately. No monster necessarily gets a music education because it's basically like second nature to them. All of them are so surrounded by and immersed in a musical environment to begin with that certainly something like polyrhythm would be just as easy as you or I saying hello, or you and I exchanging pleasantries. So do they know music theory? Perhaps they know it without knowing that they know it. It's almost like suddenly you wake up one day and you know Kung Fu. No, usually you need something plugged into the back of your neck in order to get that, but it's not.
Don't try this at home.
Don't try that at home, that's right.
This next question comes from the Monster Explorers. Starhenge fell because the clockwork that keeps the island hovering stopped, right?
An interesting theory, Monster Explorers. We do know that Starhenge persisted for a while, at least in orbit, after the dissolution of the continent and the separation of the elemental lands into the natural islands, and then only recently did it actually finally run out of steam and fall from the sky, thus forming Celestial Island in the contemporary era. I don't know if it's clockwork running out or some other event taking place in the monster world to prompt that. Not entirely sure. We do know, of course, that Celestial Island fell not too long before the discovery of epic monsters. Don't know if necessarily there's a relationship between the timing of those two events. Not sure, but there's certainly a lot more than just simple mechanical clockwork at play in Starhanja. A fair bit more colossal magic, perhaps, and for that matter, celestial magic as well.
Very cool. Sparky the Dog 6 asks, who voices each Wordo?
An excellent question, Sparky the Dog 6. Many other monsters have different species names depending on what language that you're playing the game in, but notably the Wordos all have the same name all the way through, whether you're playing in French or Brazilian Portuguese or Russian or Italian or Spanish or French. German, did I say them all? But the reason that they're all the same is that each Wordo's name is actually a reference, a clever modification of the performer who voices each particular Wordo. So in the case of Talker, Parsona, Magpie, and Steworb, there are hints hidden in the name about who voices each Wordo. And I think we may have answered this question, perhaps not all at once, but incompletely over past episodes of My Singing Monsters Live. So I would invite you, Sparky the Dog 6, to perhaps go into the back catalog and see when we last revealed the identity of the singers of each Wordo.
Follow that trail.
Follow that trail.
The Malevolent... Wow, let's do that again. The Malevolent One, 6839, asks, have you ever considered making a My Singing Monsters fighting game?
A fighting game? That's an interesting notion, Malevolent One. If we were to do something like that, I think it would be important. It's very important to remember that in the monster world, it's a fairly peaceful existence. Some of the more disruptive and violent things that have happened, dating all the way back to the beginning of the monster world, was the break apart of the continent, and the exact reason for that we don't really know yet. Nothing in our archaeological record necessarily indicates exactly how that came about. But if we ever were to do a quote-unquote fighting game, as you call it, I think it would be important to note that if it was sort of a monster v monster situation, that the moves that they would perform would be non-violent. I think it would probably be more like a music competition, more like a battle of the bands. It's certainly an interesting idea. I can, I mention it to the design team. We've got lots of other exciting things up our sleeves. But it's an interesting idea, and then who knows, maybe we could learn more about the monster world at the same time.
This is not inside information. This is something that just came into my head based off of what I know of the monster personalities.
Yes.
But I believe if we were to ask them to compete in some way, it's quite likely it would resemble a competitive party of some sense, full of smaller games that they play. That seems like the kind of activity they'd want to participate in.
Yeah, and I think it would all be good sportsmanship and fun, right? Like, there's not a lot of adversarial nature to any of the monsters. The monsters, generally speaking, all get along really well. So there'd be some challenges there, but not impossible. Excellent.
Okay. Matthew Corbin asks, where is Fairy Island in the monster world?
An excellent question. The exact pinpointed location of Fairy Island is still a little nebulous. It's like clouds, nebulous. Because there is almost like the equivalent of an insurpassable reef all around Fairy Islands, but instead of a reef, it's these dense, billowy clouds, and that sort of masks its exact location. And that's why when Fairy Island was first discovered, it was Cana that was carried there by the very rascally Baba Yaga Tower that took it there. Maybe the Baba Yaga Tower has some inside information of monster geography. Had never considered that before. Maybe we should be going and interrogating that tower. But the exact location of Fairy Island, it's sort of unclear if it moves around, because remember that it is atop the Titan facade's head. And we don't know if that Titan is moving around or if it's in a fixed location or if maybe the clouds follow it around. And the reason, of course, that it has such dense clouds surrounding it is that because it is in the location of the former outer island back during the era of Dawn of Fire of Cloud Island.
Very interesting. Some open possibilities there. Okay, we'll sneak one more in before we move on to our next section. Chris the Synthsy asks, do Deej's ice melt in hot conditions? I never thought about that.
It is an interesting notion. There aren't too many areas of the monster world where Deej's inhabit, where temperatures do get that high. But of course, it wouldn't be a monster if there wasn't a little bit of magic involved, of course, right? So I think that the ice boom boxes and the specific blocks that are in use by the Deej perhaps have a higher freezing point, lower freezing point? Higher, I think, freezing point than your standard water. That is to say, they could withstand higher temperatures. And I think as well, Deej probably takes very good care. Who knows? Maybe it's got a little bit of nitrous oxide that it sprays to keep things on track.
All right.
Not sure about that one, but it's certainly an interesting idea.
And there you go. Another very successful round of quick questions.
Well, thank you, Eric. I hope that those were some interesting insights for everyone to learn.
And now I think it's time to see how successful you are at a quick round of Stump.
Oh, no. So in Stumped, a member of the community, well, several members of the community send in questions for me, Monster Handler Matt, to try and answer correctly. And it sometimes goes well, but most of the time I get stumped.
They're very tricky questions.
They're very tricky questions. I'm sure if you asked other monster handlers, they would equally be stumped. But I hope that my knowledge serves me well this time. Okay, Eric, tell me what the question is for this week's edition
our
of
Stump of the Week. From Ziggurat, they ask, how many eyes does Ethereal Island have?
How many eyes does Ethereal Island have? Now, this could be a trick question. Is this talking about the island itself or just its inhabitants? Can I get a clarification, please? Can I get a definition for the word, please?
Based on the answer, I think this has got to be the island itself.
The island itself. Okay. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to say 11.
Stump.
Dang
7.
It.
Only 7. You overshot.
Only 7? I overshot it. I think recently I undershot. I said 11 when it should have been 12. This time it was only 7, you say? Well, 7's my lucky number, so I was unlucky in Stump this week. So once again, I've been stumped.
Oh,
well,
that's
congratulations. Congratulations, community. Perhaps next week I will rise again, like the growl out of the ashes.
I will say I commend you being in your home environment, not cheating, and still answering the questions with 100% honest.
Monster Handler, Eric, my integrity is very important to me, and I want to make sure that if I fail, I do it honorably, which I always
applaud.
Do. Thank you very much. You know what is another honorable thing that we can look at right now?
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Are they honorable? They're certainly very impressive. It's some Monsterpieces
okay.
that have been sent in by the community. And what are Monsterpieces? They're amazing works of art that are inspired by My Singing Monsters. And if you want your Monsterpiece to appear on My Singing Monsters Live, you just need to send it to us on social media. You can post it on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and use hashtag MyStreamingMonsters. And that way, Monster Handler Sydney, who is diligently in the chat today, responding to some of the questions and commentary that you might have. And of course, you got Monster Handler Michael on camera and on behind the scenes tech today as well. So once again, we're at full power. But if you want to send in, it's My Streaming Monsters. It's also, I believe, along the bottom of the screen there as well, along with all of our handles on various social media. Okay, enough talking from me. Let's launch right into the Monsterpieces.
Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit about this one?
Well, as you can see here, we have just a lovely persona from none of Y151936164.
Ooh, very nice.
It's a lovely black and white drawing. Looking at it, it looks like markers may have been used, but I'm not a professional artist, so...
You know what? I really like your commentary, though. Why don't you handle Monsterpieces this week? You're doing great.
You got it. Well,
this is your segment.
Let me bring you on over to our next one. Oh, I'm here again. This furry little creature here. We have a wonderful epic Blabbit from Declan T. It looks, what's funny about this one, as you guys can see, is there's a pesky little rare Blabbit stealing an egg in the corner. It's very...
I can't believe rare Blabbit's hubris. I can't believe it would be so eggsy as to do that.
Yes, he's a rascally one indeed.
Very.
Our next one, ooh, very fun. This is from Fast Sight Flog.
A frequent contributor.
Yes, exactly, frequent contributor. Persona who looks mighty, very strong and mighty and like
empowered might be the right word.
Yes. Empowered is a good word.
Empowered, a great one. She just is. It's looking great. It's a like a blue and white drawing. It's a two-tone. It's very, very beautiful. I very like this one.
We had an excellent magpie Monsterpiece a couple of weeks ago. Perhaps just, was it 2 weeks ago? I think that was also done in sort of a similar limited color style. And this is a great compliment to that.
I wonder if there'd be an assembly of all of them at some point. I'll have to check the records on that. Our next one here is Joven, and it's Blabbit here with the jellyfish creature that was featured in the video. And
still don't have a good wrap on what's going on with that particular entity, but it certainly has captured the imagination of the community.
Isn't that wonderful?
And it looks as though Blabbit may be reading some sort of note, and the jellyfish-like creature is giving it a little look like, eh? So maybe we got something going on there with Joven's drawing. Very nice. And the next one here is May, and it's Persona Magpie teaming up on Water Island together. Very beautiful.
Who run the world?
Work.
Weirdos.
What?
I said, who run the world?
Oh.
Weirdos.
Very nice, very nice. That's that song, right?
Yes, that is music. Yes, very good.
Is this music? Up next we got Michael T. Great name, Michael.
This looks like an amalgam of many monster kinds.
It is. It's like a Blassoom meets a Blabbit meets a Toe Jammer. I think we got like what's that creature called? You'll know this, Matt.
A chimera, perhaps.
Yes.
Or sort of, it looked like a manticore there with the sort of a scorpion-like tail.
Yes.
The My Singing Monsters equivalent of a manticore. Very creative, Michael T.
Very cool.
Up next, Phil W. Looks like they did a little color in for Extravaganza.
So we've got a couple there. A couple contributors.
I think
from Max and Georgina. Yes, Max and Georgina.
Wonderful, beautiful.
Max
art.
age 5, Georgina age 12. They're both wonderful.
I especially like how Max has decorated the outside of his.
And that's important, right?
I think it's a real nice testament to how nice it can look when you say inside the lines or out, whatever your style.
Exactly.
Yes, it presents a diversity of style.
And this next one here, very nice, from Sisman Piotr Kotowicz. I'm sorry if I was bad with the pronunciation. I try.
I think it's Simon Peter Kotowicz.
Okay, yeah, you know what? You're probably right. Well, let me tell you, I think this is Bill reading a story. If you look closely, you can see Bill's name.
Oh, to some monsters who are very attentively listening, and a little Blabbit there as well.
I like this.
And a bakery in the background. It looks like.
Yes, this looks like a nice pen drawing. Very nice.
A monster pen piece.
Yes.
Forget it. I'll keep workshopping. I'll keep workshopping that one.
Up next we have the yellowed pie. I think I got it. It's hard when the whole word's together. It's difficult. Anyways, this is Blabbit on the investigation, kind of a similar sort of. They're
following the trail, if you will. I can see Persona there lurking in one of the trees.
Yes, they kind of took a deeper dive. Imagine what else was going on.
Yes, and Magpie using its equipment on loan from Blabbit. Isn't that nice?
And this last one we have here. We're going to end it out with Persona again from Ultimate Chicken. Very nice. On a Plant Island background.
Great username. Yes, it's important to remember that, we're giving all this special attention to the Wordos as they embark upon new discoveries on new natural islands, but they're great on other existing natural islands as well.
Great work, everyone. I love the art.
Thank you for that very helpful analysis, Michael. I think
we
might have found a new home for your voice in these home projects.
It was nice for you to have an opportunity to contribute, Monster Handler, Michael, because you've been doing a good job of sort of operating behind the scenes. But it's always nice to hear from you, especially here in a work from home edition of My Singing Monsters Live. We're almost done today's episode, but we've got a couple of exciting things that we need to take care of first. The first of which is the giveaway. The giveaway. So what is the winner of today's giveaway going to be winning, Eric? Do you know?
No, I don't know. Tell me.
Oh, he's playing around with me. Because of course the winner of today's giveaway is going to be receiving their very own Rare Repetillo, the brand new Fire Rare available on Fire Haven. Very exciting. I'm going to check in with Monster Handler Sydney for. Oh, we do. We have the winner of our Rare Repetillo. And Eric, can you please give me a drum roll, please? I think I might hear one. Yes, perfect. The winner is from SCP Foundation. The SCP Foundation has won a Rare Repetillo. So SCP Foundation, please send us your BBB ID /friend code in the chat, and we will be able to deliver you your brand new Rare Repetillo, totally free of charge, which is nice because of course you can breed it for free, but it's not an inexpensive monster. It's 500 diamonds in the market on Firehaven, so free is lovely, isn't it? Okay, so that's pretty much all that we have for the show this week, episode 73, I believe, of My Singing Monsters Live. But we've got a special surprise for you at the end of the episode, because last week we were having some technical audio issues with displaying our awesome composer piece last week. We are going to replay the Extravagant Island by MSMX Music composer piece. And on top of that, we are going to be tacking on an awesome new composer piece called Valley Island by T. Garandriou. I don't know if I'm saying that properly at all. But the reason that I chose Valley Island, Eric, is because we know that Rare Repetillo likes to roll, and where better to roll than in a valley.
That's a good point.
And it's an awesome little piece of music as well. Thanks so much for tuning in to our episode today. We hope that you enjoyed all of what we had to offer you today, us Monster Handlers, and we'll see you next week at the exact same time for episode 74 of My Singing Monsters Live. So here are 2 composer pieces in a row for you to enjoy. See you later, Eric. It was nice spending this time with you. Goodbye. All right, and until next time, happy monstering!